Once you experience what a really vibrant health and energy feels like, you're a little bit unwilling to go back to suboptimal, you know, kind of feelings about how you feel in your body and your energy and mentally and emotionally. So that often happens to people. And just at the beginning, I suggest just booking into your diary or calendar, or decide that you're going to get up 10 minutes earlier every single day and do that, and try to stick to it for 3 weeks. So after 3 weeks, it will become a habit, and you will really reap the benefits of that daily movement, which will make you feel so good. And then you will hopefully continue.
Welcome to Radiant Mom Rising. Get ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted. I'm your host, Mary Dibble, and in each episode, we dive into amazing stories, insights, and conversations that help moms like you chase your dreams and embrace your worth. Let's rise and shine together. Welcome back to Radiant Mom Rising, the podcast for moms ready to thrive in life and business. Today's episode is a game changer for all of you who've ever felt like there's just no time for you in your busy day. I'm joined by the incredible Jana Barrett, who is a certified TAC-Fit instructor, strength and conditioning coach, qualified personal trainer, and a mobility alchemist who knows exactly what it's like to juggle motherhood while struggling to prioritize self-care. She helps athletic women over 40 transition from exercise that leaves them either broken, burnt out, or bored into a new way of training that's more aligned with their stage of life, so they can age with strength, confidence, and grace for all of life without sacrificing the challenge, thrill, and joy. Jana is a mother of 3 children and lives in the beautiful New Zealand. Jana shares her journey of going from overwhelmed mom to empowered fitness coach, and she's here to show you how you can reclaim your health one manageable step at a time. We're diving into practical, time-saving fitness strategies like short, powerful workouts tailored to your body's natural rhythms that can transform your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. If you've ever wished for a way to feel stronger, healthier, and more energized without sacrificing hours at the gym, this episode is for you. Get ready to discover why just 20 minutes a day can change your life and how functional fitness can help you not only survive, but thrive as a mom. Let's get moving, literally and figuratively. Welcome back to Radiant Mom Rising. Today, I'm joined with Jana. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here on the show with us today. How are you
Oh,
doing?
thank you so much for having me, Mary. I'm great. I'm really good.
Awesome. Well, let's get into this. How about you introduce yourself? Tell us listeners a little bit about you and what you do.
So my name is Jana Barrett, and I am a fitness and movement coach, and I help busy moms fit a daily exercise in, so basically they can live their lives to the fullest without limitations. And also I help women exercise in sync with their hormones and with their unique physiology, so they can thrive and exercise like warrior women rather than small men.
Ooh, that's awesome. And I can't wait to dive more into that. Tell us your journey and your story as what led you down this path to even help women in this way today.
So I was a full-time mum for well over 10 years. I had 3 children, and by the time my third one was born, I was broken. I had so little time for myself. Like most of us, we fully dedicate every waking minute to our families and children and babies and, nurturing them all. Then I was one of those women who just forgot themselves in the mix. And so when my youngest one was born and she was about 5 months old, I put my back out yet again. And I thought there must be a better way how to not be in pain and feel so weak and having my body kind of almost destroyed by 3 pregnancies. So I hired a coach, a fitness coach, a personal trainer, and I was just amazed how within 3 months, like I felt so much better, but not only physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. I noticed that not only was I getting more physically resilient, but I was getting more mentally and emotionally resilient as well. And so I continued on this journey. And then I thought more women and more mums, especially, need to know how potent exercise making us feel better and more confident and stronger and really I would say that it made exercise makes me a better parent. Like I just told you, I've just been for a surf and I know that the whole day I'm gonna just feel on top of the world. Then I decided to qualify as a personal trainer and then I went down the kind of the traditional weightlifting gym workouts, 45 minutes to 60 minutes in the gym. And then I realized I was definitely stronger, but I was still a little bit broken, still kind of a lot of tension in the body, had frequent injuries. And then I kind of realized not everyone has 45 minutes to an hour to go to the gym. And also many women find gym quite an intimidating space. So then I went down the road of functional training with functional tools like club bells, kettlebells, and steel mace. And I actually traveled to the USA in 2017 and qualified as a TechFit instructor. TechFit is a fitness system that was developed in the United States by Scott Sonnen. And it's basically 20-minute workouts. But what I love about TechFit is the massive focus on mobility, because that was the missing link that was still causing a lot of injuries, tension, and stiffness in my body. And so now I've gone down the path to help women move freely without pain so then they can age with confidence and live their lives to the fullest regardless of their age. So a lot of my clients are a little bit like late 40s and 50s, but I coach teenagers, I coach new moms, pregnant women, and kind of anyone in between. I've literally coached from my own children by the time they're 10, and my oldest client to date is 84, and
Oh,
everyone in between.
love it. And there's so many people listening right now, and this is something I feel like is becoming a big movement in the US because we're a very unhealthy country. It's ridiculous the amounts of chemicals that are being put in our foods, just the obesity in our children. It's getting worse and worse, and people are becoming more mindful, more aware, opening their eyes finally to this corruption, all the stuff that's happening to our bodies. And, one of the things they always talk about is just the simplicity of people realizing the health, like how much just your physical health can lead to all things coming together. It can cure things. There's so much out there with it. So tell us a little bit about some of the things you've learned on your journey. So to what you've experienced, because I love the fact that you incorporate and understand that it's not a one size fits all. We all have different, phases of our lives and different age range, different things that make a difference in how we can work out. So how do you go about
Mm,
figuring that out for a person?
yeah. So first of all, I ask women, what is your lifestyle? Like I run two businesses and I solo parent three children. I'm in a very different category to someone who is in their late 20s and is maybe just as a partner, but no family and very little commitment. So first of all, I look at what is your lifestyle? What is your daily schedule? And realistically, how much exercise can you actually squeeze into your day? Because, I kind of hate the influencers when they say, oh, we all have 24 hours in the day. No, we don't. No, we don't, because I'm watching your 3-hour morning routine with smoothies and meditation and mindfulness and journaling. For me, if I wanted to do that, I would have to get up at 3:30 in the morning. I have to get kids off to school. I have morning clients. So
Yes.
I think that what we need to really look at and what everybody needs to look at realistically, how much exercise can you fit in within the week, in your average week, not the best case scenario and not the worst case scenario, somewhere in between. Because I personally don't work out for more than 20 minutes a day, but I do it most days.
That's
Try to do it
great.
every day because I think that when it comes to exercise, consistency is the key rather than some elaborate
Yeah.
1.5 hour routines in the gym involving barbells, dumbbells, machines,
Yes.
elaborate warm up, elaborate cool down. For me, it's in and out, 20 minutes, mobility, some a little bit of functional strength training, maybe like a little interval session, and that's it. So
Yes. Love that.
that's what I think is the most important thing because everybody's day is different. Everyone, especially women, we're juggling so
I
much.
know. Gosh, yes.
so much.
We do.
Work,
Yeah.
family, aging parents
Kids.
often. So kind of my age group is now not only having children, but they also having the aging parents.
Yeah.
And we're kind of sandwiched in these caring responsibilities, and often our own well-being falls off the priority list, and it really shouldn't.
I know, because another thing we don't think about is like, well, if we're not in good health, how are we really going to help them? It's
Mm,
like we may
mm,
not be around, or we're going to get these limitations because of it. And I love that you say that you only do the 20 minutes. That's comforting for someone, because I think there is that stigma that exercise
yeah,
means you have to go to the gym for an hour and do all these things. And that's so discouraging, especially for busy moms. And so I love this
yeah,
message, and I love to share that, because I'm like that too. Like, I'm not in a place in my life where I have the time or the availability to go to a gym and work
yeah,
out, but I try
mm,
to do what I can at home when I have the time. And it's
yeah,
usually a 15-20 minute workout, and I love it. And and I mix it up. Sometimes it's yoga,
yeah,
sometimes it's going for a walk. And I hear sometimes it just, oh gosh, I was listening to a podcast just the other day, and I'm so bad about remembering exactly verbatim of what people say, but I love how she said it's proven that even somebody who walked like 45 minutes a day, just walked, how
yeah,
much that could decrease their chances of getting heart disease and the chronic illnesses that we're seeing here in
mm,
America right now. And it's just
yeah,
so crazy to think that we're not even moving. Nobody, like these days, some people are not even moving, and how that
mm.
really affects. Have you had experience in that, as far as what you've learned through your process, how this all affects us in the long haul? And can you speak on that?
Yeah, so as you suggested, as you
Yeah.
alluded to, Mary, there's so much research coming out right now how
Yes.
potent exercising for fighting cancers,
Yes.
metabolic disease, obviously obesity, cancer,
Diabetes. Yeah, diabetes.
diabetes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, let's not forget that type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle disease. It's not a disease.
Yeah.
But also, all the cognitive decline that especially women are susceptible to, like dementia and Alzheimer's. And exercising for like walking 3 times a week for 30 minutes will reduce your chances of Alzheimer's by like 30-40%.
Isn't that crazy? I guess.
Just walking. So walking doesn't cost anything.
Yes.
It's completely like you can walk anywhere, whether that's a road, a park, a beach, wherever you live, you can always walk. All you need is a pair of shoes, and they don't need to be the latest Nike model either. You can just get a pair of shoes, and there you go. Here is your magic pill for reducing all of the diseases by 30-40% just by walking 3 times a week for 30 minutes. So this is not even every single day. I think that people often get overwhelmed with how much exercise they need to fit in. But the truth is, you don't actually have to fit in a lot. Like, I am a big fan of 10 minutes of mobility every single day. If you really even can't go out,
Yeah.
let's say that you've got really small children and you are a solo parent, or your partner works long hours and it's not in the home, just do a little bit of movement, like literally 10 minutes of mobility in the corner of your bedroom. You don't need to get even changed out of your pajamas. And that alone will give you lots of energy, remove the stiffness, tension, aches and pains, prevent injuries, and preserve the movement. Because I was just getting changed at the beach today, and I was just watching people walk by. And even in New Zealand, people are not moving very well. You can tell there's something going on with their hips. They're kind of tight, they're hunched over, even young people. And all of that can be completely mitigated by just a little bit of mobility every single day, 10
And
minutes.
scary to think that people aren't really aware of this and doing
Uh,
things more for themselves. I think
mhm.
there is this amazing movement, though, where people sharing this knowledge, because unfortunately, the way the system's set up, not a lot of doctors are allowed even to share this knowledge with their own patients. And so I love this kind of conversation. I think this is so super important. And I would love to also know, for somebody out there who's listening, who's like, oh, wow, like this sounds amazing and doable. What would you say as a way to motivate them to keep them and get on some type of consistent workout schedule, workout routine, what would you say as far as how you work with clients or what you would recommend and give advice to help someone really get started on this journey?
Mm. So it takes 21 days to form a new habit. And what I found often that once people experience how great they feel after doing 10, 15 minutes of mobility every morning, they often get addicted to that feeling. So they are very keenly aware of how they feel in the day where they do that 10, 15-minute mobility routine in the morning and the day when they don't. They are so different that people often get addicted or they want to feel like that. Because once you experience what a really vibrant health and, energy feels like, you're a little bit unwilling to go back to suboptimal, you know, kind of feelings about, how you feel in your body and your energy and mentally and emotionally. So that often happens to people. And just at the beginning, I suggest just booking into your diary or calendar or decide that you're going to get up 10 minutes earlier every single day and do that and try to stick to it for 3 weeks. So after 3 weeks, it will become a habit and you will really reap the benefits of that daily movement, which will make you feel so good. And then you will hopefully continue. But sometimes you literally have to either get up early in the morning and make a conscious effort of going to bed earlier at night, get up earlier, or if you really can't do it in the morning, like I know that for years, my mornings were about the children when they were little, babies wake up incredibly early, so I didn't
Yes.
have the time. So in that case, just literally block it into your diary every single day, some kind of time somewhere. But I believe that in the morning, you're probably gonna it's the most potent because it will set you up for the whole day. And that is often the time when you can carve it out rather than sometimes the day kind of hijacks you a little bit,
Yeah.
like suddenly somebody needs to get picked up from school because they vomited or, your boss calls you and say, oh, you need to finish this report. And you're like, oh my gosh, and I had to work through my lunch break and whatever. So I kind of think that in the morning is that really sure, secure time where you can fit in a little bit of exercise. So that's what I would recommend. And start slow. Maybe just start with 5 minutes
Yeah.
at the start for a week or two. Start with 5 minutes for the first week. But really, you should be able to fit in 5 minutes and get up 5 minutes earlier. And then maybe increase it in the second week to 10 and then see how you feel. And then you probably want to do it for longer.
Yeah, but you're right, because the benefits of that, of setting yourself up for your day like that is incredible. I starting having a morning ritual was a game changer for sure, because
Yeah.
it provides clarity too, and helps set you up in a good state of mind to prepare for the
Mm.
day. Because like you say, you don't know what you're going to expect from your job or for things. And Lord knows if you're already tired and moody and grumpy in the mornings, you carry that into work or carry that into whatever you're trying to do. Oh gosh, it's a hot mess.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I also feel that as a really busy mom, I don't know if you feel the same, Mary, that when you get that time in the morning to yourself for your exercise, which really is self-care, it's a commitment to yourself and to your self-care, then I don't feel as resentful during the day when the day is about everybody else, right? Like for me, it's about my children, it's about my clients, it's about my work. It's always mostly about other people.
Yeah.
So if I get that 20 minutes in the morning that is just mine, it's just for me, it's something that I do for my health, my well-being, my future, my aging, then I feel about giving lots of energy and time to others because I have filled my cup in the morning and then I feel good for the rest of the day. Would you agree with that? That when you get
Yeah.
that done in the morning? Mm,
Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing like that though. Even outside of the mornings, like when you take that time for you
mm,
to really
yeah.
give yourself like that space that you need or whatever it is to treat yourself, it makes such a difference in how you show up for everything else. And starting it in the morning is at the best if you can do it for sure. There have been times where the schedule worked out where my little one's sleeping in till like 9:30 and I work from home. And so if I feel like I'm going to take that time to either get some extra sleep in or get up and work on something for me or do my yoga before he wakes up, whatever it is, even just having
Mm.
that is fantastic. So it's like sometimes we don't realize like how our schedules can change.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yes, it's a go this time, but in this moment of time, things shift. And now you have this extra time that you didn't have before. And it's all about finding those pockets, right? And doing something for yourself and not feeling that pressure. Because I don't know if you ever felt that guilt. And I think a lot of moms do, that when you do have extra spare time, that you should be doing this and that. Like I should be cleaning the house, or I should be,
Laundry.
yes, exactly. I should be doing
Yeah.
this, or I should be taking care, or I should be working on my business. I should be doing that. And sometimes it's important, I feel like, too, in those moments to like set the boundaries and be like, you know what? No, I'm going
Mm.
to take this for me to do something I
Mm.
enjoy that fills me up. I love that. That's how I roll now.
Yeah,
And it's helped me a lot.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great way to
Mm.
be, I feel like. And I love that you focus on the exercise, because the exercise really, truly, that physicality, it's all connected. And I think
Oh,
that people don't
absolutely.
realize, like, so many of us moms struggle with like the depression, with
Yeah.
hormonal changes, with all sorts of stuff. And if we could realize how just something like exercise could be the starting point of just shifting to bring in that energy that
Mm.
will, affect our mental health. It will help us to feel
Oh.
good. Hey there, Radiant Moms. Are you feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or unsure of how to move forward with your dreams? I get it. Being a busy mom while trying to build a fulfilling life and business can feel like an impossible juggling act. But here's the truth: you don't have to sacrifice family time, lose yourself, or feel unsupported to create the life you desire. That's exactly why I'm here. I help busy moms like you confidently pursue your dreams, gain clarity, and create a life and business that light you up, all without the guilt or overwhelm. If you're ready to break free from feeling stuck and finally take those first steps toward your goals, let's chat. I'm offering a free Radiant Mom Breakthrough session where we'll dive into your current challenges, uncovering what's holding you back, and map out a clear, actionable game plan for your next steps. No strings attached, just real support to help you get unstuck and start creating the life you deserve. Click the link in the show notes to schedule your call today. I can't wait to help you shine even brighter. Now, back to the show. So, what was that like for you in your journey when you started to see that change for yourself?
Mm. For sure. So, I probably had a mild postnatal depression as well, especially with three
Good.
small children under the age of 6. It's full on, right? It's big changes. And my then husband had a very demanding career in the film industry where he would work crazy, 95 plus hours a week. He would travel for extensive period of time. So I was essentially always a solo parent, and it's full on, it's relentless, and you really forget yourself in the mix, and this bit of anxiety about having small children and, am I doing things right, and am I being a good parent? And so I think that exercise really helped me into like kind of like keep the lid on it, if you know what I mean. Like just kind of keep everything maybe simmering a little bit, but not letting it bubble
Love
out
it.
and overwhelm,
Uh,
like come out.
yes.
And there's a lot of research that, for mild to moderate depression and anxiety, exercise is incredibly potent, sometimes even more than medication. There is types of depression that do not respond to medication, but do to exercise. And then, there's countries, a little bit more enlightened countries like Japan, where they actually, when you first go to the doctor with feeling depressed and a bit blue and low, they actually recommend a forest therapy 3 times a week. So they tell you, without handing over a prescription, they tell you first try this, go into the forest 3 times a week for half an hour, and then see how you feel. So, like humans have known for thousands of years the potency of movement and being in nature
Nature. Mm.
to elevate our well-being. I mean, like you can see the day
Ah,
behind me, right? I mean,
God, yeah.
like,
It's
how
what a
can you? It's incredible, right? So I've been in the water for a couple of hours, and regardless of what waves I catch, it's just my mood is just so I'm on
amazing.
top of the world, and I felt really tired this morning, and I'm working too hard. And so it's incredible when you just can go into nature and move, just a gentle walk around the forest or some field or park. It's incredible.
It
So,
is. And not just that, like the sun, exposing us to the sun too. Sometimes you don't realize, like sometimes that's why they say go
yeah.
for a walk, get out, feel that sun against your skin. Like it's giving that
Mhm.
vitamin D. It's giving you what your
Oh,
body needs. It's so they've overcomplicated, I feel like, with
yeah.
this. And of course, understand that there's only so much that people have control over with certain things, but they've really pushed because if we really look at the logistics of how they have come into this whole pharmaceutical, they want
Yeah.
money and they're pushing, pushing, pushing all these pills onto people that only cause
Mm.
other symptoms and side effects that then they want to put more, and it's like we've grown into a society that is just becoming reliant on these medications to pretty much put a band-aid on the root issues of what's going on inside of us. And I know so many people are just ready to really take action and really get healthy. And I know I want to encourage that because I hate to see moms not go after their dreams and hide behind the excuses, like put themselves on the back burner. I can't stand it. I think so
Yeah.
many of us are just letting life pass us by. We're killing
Mm.
ourselves slowly by
Mm.
but the foods we're eating, the things we're doing, and it's all of us. I mean, I've been guilty of it, and this world
Mm.
has made it so easy to do it because everything's you can't afford it unless certain foods that are unhealthy, make they're cheaper, so it's easier. You have two working parents now in the house who are so busy you don't have time to cook a home cooked meal anymore. So there's so many aspects to this that's hindering us, but if we
Mm.
can take these small steps and make these little changes, I'm
Yeah.
hoping that that can cause a ripple effect in the positive way for us to help us, give us options, give us better ways out, to better things that we can do. And this is why I also want to push for us to find our success any way that we can, so we can get out of the rat race and we don't get bogged down by that system. And so I know New Zealand's got their own, rules and things like that. How is it in your society as far as when it comes to y'all's health and things like that?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I've lived in New Zealand for 22 years. So I
Hmm.
have really noticed the decline in people's health here as well.
So it is.
This is a reasonably big country. Well, probably not comparing to the US, but we have a lot of land and there's only 5 million people in this country. It's like that will blow people's mind. There is only 5 million people in this country. We grow most of our food here. This is like agriculturally very productive country. We have 40 million cows in this country. We have sheep, like we have everything, like I drink raw milk, I get my produce from the farmer's market. I get my meat from a local farmer at the farmer's market too. So we have access to a very high quality food from which we can cook our food. But a lot of people are choosing convenience, just like in America. Like they go to the supermarket, they get ready meals, they get, foods that are laden with chemicals. And it's probably not as bad as in America because I have
Yes.
listened to a lot of the what's going on in your Congress around
Yes.
food and all the loud doctors that are now speaking about how come you guys have 50 ingredients in your cereal and the same cereal in Europe has only 10, like so I think we're probably still okay here.
Mhm.
But New Zealanders as a nation have gotten very overweight and very obese. Even my children commented on it not that long ago, like, wow, New Zealand is getting really big.
Mhm.
And there's no need
Yeah.
for it because look what we've got on our doorstep. We have incredible outdoors.
Yeah.
All our cities have, like, I live in the capital, Wellington. It's only got 500,000 people. There's parks everywhere. There's bush, there's trails, there's beaches. Like, we have it all.
Yeah.
Yet people don't really take advantage of it. People are getting lazy. People are grabbing convenient food, and it is a lot of prices. New Zealand is very expensive, so good food costs a lot of money. But I kind of think that it's an investment, and I would rather skim on some other things than on food. And if you actually make the effort and go to the farmer's market, the you pay about a third of what you would pay in a supermarket, and it's fresher.
Mhm.
There's no middleman. I'm buying it straight of the people who are literally breaking their backs
Oh my
growing this food.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So there is ways. There is
Oh, yeah.
absolutely ways how to eat, but it is like I think in New Zealand New Zealanders are experiencing huge decline in our health. There's more cancers, there's more obesity, there's a lot of dementia, Alzheimer's, and I think it is the messages from our doctors here as well. They just give you a pill for whatever, and they don't really give you any lifestyle changes. And I think that it's actually, as you said, Mary, it's so simple. Move your body every single day a little bit in some way. Get out in the sunshine. I mean, we have an ozone hole here, so it's a little bit tricky, but you can still go in the morning and in the evening. And I don't buy into the whole sunblocks and stuff, because I think that vitamin D is a nutrient that we are so deficient in, which is causing all sorts of havoc in our bodies. And just slow down. I think people just need to slow down, get off their phones, and
be
just
more present.
Smell the grass.
Right. Be more present, right?
Like look at some bees, or like, I don't know, just sit there with your cup of coffee and just take it all in. Wherever in the world you are, there's beauty everywhere. And I think the world today is just so disconnecting us from nature, but that's where we belong. That's where we've always belonged. For thousands of years, we thrived outdoors, and now we're locked in little rooms under fluorescent lights. We don't go out into fresh air anymore. And I think that's what's really causing the epidemic of
chronic illnesses.
Chronic illness and just not feeling good. A lot of people just not feeling good. I'd be sick, but they are just not feeling good. And it's actually quite simple. As you said, Mary, it's actually quite simple.
And it's unfortunate that we've come this far, but what I was hearing even too, what they were talking about on the podcast is that it's also so easy to turn. We can overcome this. We can turn this around if people will really push for these changes and to make more awareness for people of these simplicity, like of these things that we can do to fix things and to help be better with our health systems, with our foods. But you're right. Moving your body alone is just such a huge thing you can do right now. It's so small, but it's so big. And you can start doing right now to feel better. And then look at the example you set for your kids too. Like, one of the things I was guilty of in the beginning is being like, I can't work out because my kids are crawling all over me. And they do. And I had this one guest, I love her to death. Like she helps moms too as well, like to work out with having young kids. And she talks about how like if you don't allow yourself to just do it messy like that, you'll never do it. But it's like she actually realized by pushing herself to do it messy anyways and just do what she could, and even sometimes use her kids, like sometimes I use my kids, so we have fun with it. But doing that, she said, eventually as they got older, they started working out, they started doing it with her, and so she was setting this example for them. And I think that's so neat because I see my kids too, when they see me pull up my yoga mat, oh mommy, you're working out, and we get down and we do stuff together. And it's really cool because I know they're really young right now, but eventually I hope that they really will pick that up for themselves and get out, move. So
Absolutely.
I love to see them going outside. I love to see them playing outside and not being like stuck on tablets and things like that. And don't get me wrong, I have my times where okay, you have your tablet time, whatever, mommy needs to focus on work, but we limit it. I think it's okay to give a little bit here and there, but there's also a sense of being careful. Most kids today are getting like 7 hours of screen time, if not more, when it's just something that's become so normalized. I don't want people to feel guilty though. Like I understand, everyone has they know what they know and they're doing the best that they can. But if you really want to bring change, if you really want to have a positive impact on your kids, on yourself, you have to be aware of these things. You have to be willing to not just hear it though, take action towards it. And that's what we're hoping to express here, to share here. Tell us a little bit about what it looks like to work with you.
So I have two businesses. I have a business here face to face in Wellington for the lucky people who can come to me into my private studio here in Wellington.
Nice.
And then I have a range of online programs that people can jump into, and then they can choose whether they want to work a bit more high touch when people need a lot of help. I get a lot of people who are very active, almost like semi-professional, professional athletes that are getting into their late 40s and 50s and start to get a lot of injuries. So I help them rehab from that. But then I have programs where you can just do body weight work and mobility and some mobility flows, or I am a big fan of the steel mace for women, because it's an ancient warrior weapon. And when women learn how to exercise with it, they just feel amazing. Like you literally feel like a warrior, like a feminine warrior. And it is an incredible versatile tool. You can do beautiful flows with it. You can do mobility. You can do interval strength training. So when women need short, potent workouts, they are fun. And there also are a blend because, we know that as we are aging, we need to do strength training, we need to do mobility, and we need to do cardio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's quite overwhelming for women. It's like, how am I going to get all of that in? Well, the beauty of when you're choosing some functional movement like the steel mace, you can blend all of them together into one modality that you can just do for 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're done, and you can do it anywhere in the garden, if you've got a garage or a studio or anything or any room, like you need so little room for it. So I'm a big fan of that because that has changed how I kind of work out as well. If I have very little time, I can just take it into the garden and go. And it's potent. It's like a mashup of strength training, martial arts, yoga, dance, and it's unique and fun and badass. It's totally badass.
I love it. I mean, that's so funny. I've never even tried that. I've never even really heard that. So that is something new. That's cool. And see, I love this is what I love about learning. You always learn something new
Yeah.
on this journey. Because for me, Zumba is probably one of my favorites as far as doing
Yeah.
cardio workout.
So good.
Woo, because I love to dance. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of
It's
fun.
epic.
So this right here. Tell me a little bit more about it. So you're saying it's a mix of
Yeah. So the
dance?
tool steel mace, it's basically a stainless steel
Uh-huh.
stick, about a meter, 3 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
And it has your listeners can have a look on my website, just right on top. It's me swinging it. But that took 3 years to master. So like, don't get put off. Okay. That takes a little time using it with one hand.
Yes.
And then at the end of the stick is a steel ball of various weights.
Okay.
So normally you start with between 7 and 10 pounds is like a beginner weight. And then you can obviously, as you get stronger, you can get heavier ones. And then you can do flows with it. So it's almost like yoga combined with strength training. Because yoga is a kind of body weight, but sometimes you feel like maybe I want to add a little bit more weight to it. So I have a lot of yoga teachers that use it, Pilates teachers, but it's the versatility of it that is so fantastic because you can create these movements, multidimensional movements. So a lot of weightlifting is very up and down and side to side. It's quite limited in terms of
Yeah.
exploring the full range of movement the human body is capable of. But with the mace, you can swing it around your body. You can start with a press, then move into a lunge, then move into a different movement. So, and I think women essentially, we are about flow and grace and dance. Like I don't think we're meant to ultimately be lifting barbells and counting sets and reps. That's a very masculine way to exercise. I think we're more about just movement and grace and fluidity and flow. So I think that that's why the steel mace speaks to women so much, because we have been trying to fit into a man's world of fitness, and that's what's sold to us, the CrossFit, the F45, the always focusing on output and performance and volume and personal bests. I don't think that's really very feminine way to exercise, because for women it's more about cultivating our feminine strength, and again the grace, the flow. Women love to dance, they love yoga and more of those types of movement, because it speaks to us a little bit more, right? Because we're more feminine. The feminine energy is very different. So I think that's why women are exploring these alternative fitness styles with different tools that speak to them more, speak to their feminine energy a little bit more than the,
Yeah. Oh
at the
yeah.
gym. But there's many women who love the workouts, and I went there too. I love deadlift. I really enjoyed deadlifting 1.5, my body weight and with the gym bros and my male colleagues. But I'm old now. Like, I'm older. I'm 47. I'm not interested in that at all.
Yes,
I
yeah.
just want to move well, and I'm essentially training for my old lady body.
Yeah,
I want to be in.
yeah, no, but
Yeah.
that's I mean that's smart though because you don't want to get there and then it's like like you say the arthritis kicks in and the
Yeah.
pains and the aches like I know I don't want that. I see that even with
No.
my mom and I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't want to end up like that and suffer
No.
as I get older. We're like, I mean, she's only in her 50s and she's already hurting, having hip issues. That's the thing. What I do now, I know will affect my later. And so it's like even just having this mindset of that and honoring your body, honoring where you are. I
Mm.
think it's a cool thing. And I never even thought of it like that too. I like that you brought that up about the masculine expectations or like the way we've been taught that this is the way you have to work out, which is very offsetting. And I never thought how that really did affect a lot of women because it's like it is offsetting okay, if that's not how you flow, if you're not aligned with that. So I love that you're able to help people find that for themselves and where they
Mm.
are and what works for them because there's just
Oh,
so many different ways that we can do things.
yeah.
It would be great for people to just take the time to just try new things and see what you like, right? See what works for you, see what feels good. I mean, there's so many free videos too, even
Oh.
a lot of free resources, free videos
Mm.
on YouTube, things that you can at least look into and just try. But if you're in a place too, though, it's so easy, like I say, to talk ourselves out of things. It's so nice
Mm.
to have that accountability. And that's where someone like you comes in. That's where coaches come in. Don't be afraid to reach out for help and support because the consistency is where it's at. And for so many of us, especially when you have busy lives, that is not always easy. And that is
Yeah.
okay. And that's why it's okay to also get the help that you need so you keep with it, you know?
Mm. Absolutely. I have so many free resources. I have a Facebook group where I do free training every single week. And I have a YouTube channel where people can have a look at steel mace training and perhaps try it. You can even try it with a broomstick. If you're not sure whether the steel mace is for you and you're like, well, I don't want to invest 35, 40 US dollars into a mace, have a whirl with the broomstick and see how you like it. Because the broomstick kind of mimics quite well
Hmm.
how the mace will move. It's obviously not as heavy, but it does give you a little bit of an idea of what movements you can achieve with it. And then I have tons of tutorials for simple flows and mobility training with the steel mace on YouTube. So yeah, virtually there is no barriers. And then if you want to pursue it, then just get yourself a mace. It's not expensive at all.
Yeah,
Or
that's
start with mobility, which is you need nothing for that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's awesome that you're working to do what you do to help people in all areas. Like I said, it changes as you get older, and in so many people I hear, when they're older, it's too late. It's too late for me. Like, what would you say to them?
It's never too late.
Yeah.
So, example, last year I signed up new clients and it was a couple. The lady was 82 and the man was 84.
Mm.
And they literally started their strength training journey with me in their early 80s because they realized that they love golf and they love walking and they needed something to help them be able to do those two things for as long as they can. So they started their strength training journey with a steel mace. I coached them with the steel mace and mobility because at that age it's all about mobility and quality of movement and pain-free movement. So there you go. Here's an example. It's never too late. It's
Yeah.
never because think about how we don't know how much time we have left, but the time that we have left, we want to spend feeling good in vibrant health, moving freely without limitations and pain.
Yeah.
Because often we look forward to retirement and we look forward to having grandchildren and we look forward to traveling. And then suddenly we arrive at that point and realize that we're not strong enough. We ache everywhere. We're injured. Maybe we're a bit overweight, which makes travel really difficult. And
Hmm.
so as people are investing financially for their retirement, I think you need to look at exercise as an investment into your old age as well. So by making a little deposits all the time of 5, 10 minutes here and there, bit of walking, you will be able to really reap the benefits when you are 60, 70, and 80, because women are living longer than ever. So the expectancy in New Zealand of a woman is 86 years old. But it is, according to research, women spend 25% of their life in poor health. So what is the point of living? Like, we'll have to have a look at the health span as opposed to lifespan. I don't want to live at till 90 if I'm in a care home and I don't remember who my children are. That is not worth living to me.
Yeah.
For me, I want to live the last half or the last third of my life just being able to live in my own home, being able to look after my grandchildren, being able to serve till I'm old and do all the things, go into the garden and do some weeding, grow my vegetables, carry my groceries, being able to get on and off, in and out of a chair, on and off a floor, in and out of a car. So for that, I know that everything I do now, it's not about performance and how much I can lift and how long I exercise for and what is the modality. That's irrelevant at this point to me. What's really crucial to me, it's pain-free quality movement, freedom to do what I want, and preventing injuries like hip fractures, pelvis fractures, frozen shoulders. And then obviously there's all the cognitive decline that comes with that as well. I think, exercise has now moved from, for women, focusing, we used to use exercise predominantly to manage our weight and our appearance. It was all about aesthetics. Right? It was helping us to lose weight and tone up and stuff like that. Now the clients that I get in the last 5 years are kind of like, yeah, looking good in jeans, but I have no muscle tone. I'm losing muscles so quickly and I'm worried. So women are really now, especially women in late 40s and 50s, are very focused on exercise as a way to age well and have a healthy, happy, long life, rather than they just don't care, because there's research has proven that even women who are a bit bigger, but have a very solid muscle mass, have better health outcomes than someone who is skinny or like appears to look good and healthy, but doesn't have the strength and the mobility. So the shape of your body does not determine your aging and your health outcomes. It is, do you have strong bones? Do you have good, solid, functional muscle mass? And can you move well? So have you got strong joints and have you got no limitations and restrictions around your joints? Those three things, it's really all you need to age well, regardless of how much body fat you're carrying on top of that, which is
Wow.
empowering for the women who think, well, I've always been a bit bigger. Like, there's no hope for me. No, absolutely not. It doesn't matter how much. Obviously, I'm not promoting you go into obese ranges and stuff, but women, what they tell us in social media is not what a real woman looks like. We are supposed to carry more body fat, and especially as women are going through perimenopause and menopause, we tend to kind of pile a little bit more on. But what really matters, it's what's underneath that. Your muscles and your bones and the health of your joints and your connective tissue like ligaments and tendons. So that is the focus. Wow. So don't worry about losing weight and stuff like that. They will come with it. That comes with it eventually if you don't focus on it. But work on building your muscle mass, which you're losing from your 30s at a very rapid rate. And then focus on healthy bones and healthy joints and healthy connective tissue. That will be the advice that I will have for women, your listeners who are probably a little bit younger than me. I'm 47. Yeah.
Well, I'm 37, so I mean, what you're saying is so, so important. And even for me to be hearing this and to really take into account, because what I love what you said and is the idea that exercise is all about looking good. And, I think that's another reason why so many people give up because first of all,
Yeah.
it's hard. And second of all, it's like you have to
Yeah.
do it for so long before you really start seeing the results. But if you go into it with a mindset, like you just said, of like, this is just about making sure that your quality of life as you get older is so good that you get to enjoy your grandkids. You get to go and enjoy life when you finally retire. Because how sucky is that to work your butt off your whole life, finally retire, and then you can't go anywhere and do anything because you're freaking
Yeah.
hurting all the time and you have all these health conditions and
Mhm.
all these, that's what is the point? So,
I know.
so
I
I
know.
hope anyone who was listening really heard that because that alone should be your perspective of no matter where you are on your journey, if you are ready
Mm.
to take action to better your future, there you go. Think of it this way, what you're doing when you're doing those exercises that may not like, "Ugh, I don't really want to do it and like, whatever. But this that I'm doing for myself is helping me to live a healthier, stronger future self and
Yeah.
be able to do the things that I love doing now or even want to do then in the best way possible. And
Mm.
talk about a motivating factor and perspective to have when it comes to exercising. It's about taking care of ourselves and doing what we need to do. And you couldn't have said it any better to just really give the truest perspective of why we exercise or why we need to take these steps for ourselves. It's awesome what you're doing. I thank you so much for sharing all this with us. Is there any final thought or piece of advice you'd like to share before we end here?
I think we covered so much, Mary. Yeah, I think just, yeah, don't overcomplicate it and take responsibility. I think that people really need to stop outsourcing their health and well-being into the hands of people who might not have their best interests at heart. Because a healthy, strong person probably doesn't make Big Pharma much money, right? And it's not a very easily manipulated person either. So I would strongly encourage people to take radical personal responsibility for their own health, because then if you are healthy and strong and you are working on getting stronger and managing your well-being and mental emotional health, then you probably might not even have to go to the doctor unless you break your arm or, medicine is amazing for the acute things, right? If you've got pneumonia, yeah, you got to go to the hospital and get antibiotics. If you break your leg, they fix you up beautifully. But I think for just general well-being,
Yeah.
we need to, we need to take personal responsibility, and exercise is such a potent part of that picture. And often I think, what we didn't talk about is about you start exercising and then suddenly you start paying more attention to your sleep and your food, right? Because if you are, that on the days you
Yeah.
exercise, you really think about what you're putting in your mouth, right? Whereas sometimes
Yes.
when you fall off the wagon and you're like, it doesn't matter, I'm just gonna have that extra donut anyway. Who cares? Right? It's like
Exactly.
a it's like a spiral, isn't
It
it? Like
is. It
one
is.
thing, or start with the good food, and then you will
Yes.
have more energy to exercise. It's so connected, right? As you said,
Yes.
we cannot separate the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual parts of ourselves. It's all one. And often exercise is that kind of kickoff
Yeah.
that people sometimes need to then introduce so many good things
Uh,
into their lives.
and it will because it brings that clarity. It helps to kind of take that brain
Yeah.
fog away too, and
Mm,
really seeing the results and feeling good,
mm,
like you say, because it gives you that energy, it gives you what you need. There's so
yeah.
much to it and so much goodness to it. And I mean, everything that you've talked about and everything you brought attention to is so important. And I hope anyone listening, we'd love to hear from you. What are some of the things you're struggling with? How can we
Mm.
support you? Reach out to us and see if there's anything that we can help get you going. I mean, obviously you have such great resources too that we'll be sure to share in the show notes or go find her, get connected, check out her videos for sure. I again, thank you so much for being part of this show and sharing everything that you have with us today.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, Mary. It's been a great conversation. I loved it.
Oh, me too. What an incredible and important talk. Here are the key takeaways from today's episode. You don't need hours at the gym to be fit. Short, effective workouts tailored to your unique needs can fit right into your busy mom schedule. Learn how to align your workouts with your hormonal cycle and unique physiology to thrive as a woman and maximize your results. Even just 20 minutes of exercise a day can bring significant benefits like better mental clarity, emotional resilience, and physical health. Explore workouts like TechFit that combine mobility and functional strength using tools like kettlebells, club bells, and still maces designed for real-life strength and flexibility. Exercise isn't just about your body. It's a powerful tool to boost your mental health, manage stress, and build emotional resilience. Simple steps like consistent movement and better health choices can lead to a healthier, more vibrant life over time. Your fitness journey can inspire your kids to adopt healthy habits and balance screen time with outdoor play. Building muscle mass and embracing functional fitness now will help you age gracefully, maintain cognitive function, and prevent chronic diseases. Your health is your responsibility. Start small, stay consistent, and embrace fitness routines that work for your lifestyle. This episode is your reminder that your health is worth prioritizing. You have the power to integrate simple, effective fitness habits into your daily routine and experience transformative results. Be sure to check out Jana's links in the show notes to learn more about her amazing services and get connected with her today. I truly appreciate you all tuning in with us each week. Be sure to share this episode with a fellow mom and show your support to the show so we can continue to create amazing and empowering content to uplevel your game and create the fulfilling and thriving life and business you deserve, mama. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Until next time, much love.